towns to the open road. Southern Indiana stories unfold. Local leaders sharing how they grow. Stories behind success. Real voices with the real stories next. Evansville rising, Southern Indiana strong. Making our region where businesses belong. Stories behind success.
A good friend of mine and owner of Boone Funeral Home, Jordan Duncan. Thanks for coming on today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Anytime. So I want you to talk a little bit about Boone. I think you guys have been around since the 1800s.
Yeah.
So probably one of the oldest funeral homes in the area.
Yep.
Not the Midwest. Kind of just talk me through the history, and then after that, I want to hear more about how you got into this business.
Yeah, so it was in the late 1800s that Boone was formed. And then it was by Charles and George Boone. And in 1985, John and Martha Maier were the ones that bought it. And about 3 years ago, I purchased it from John and Martha Maier. So now it's my turn to kind of carry the torch on. Mm-hmm. And so I find it a huge honor to be put in this position to be able to have the opportunity to carry on the Boone name.
Yeah, it's a long time. So how have you guys kept it going for this long? Because I would imagine it's pretty hard to keep a funeral business to...
Oh, sure. I mean, you have to be integrated into the community. John has always been good to people. I tell people all the time he would have given the shirt off his back for any of the families that we served. I mean, he kind of did that with me, bringing me in from Cincinnati, Ohio, to come on and be a part of the team. And then early on, he would tell me, Jordan, run it like your own. And so I really took that philosophy on to run it like my own. I didn't know that I would have the opportunity to own it down the line.
Yeah. So how'd you get into the funeral business?
Man, that's like a loaded story, but I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes version of it. My parents own a construction company up in Northwest Indiana. It was always the plan for me to graduate school, go home, be a part of the family business. My dad, developed subdivisions and built homes. Well, the kink in the plan was 2008, the housing market crashed.
Oh, yeah.
And so I come home and there's absolutely no work to be done. I mean, my dad was doing everything he could to hold on to his company and keep it afloat. And my college job kind of fell into that, was working for a trade service, and I represented 40 to 50 different funeral homes. If somebody passed away, I would get a call and I would go to the home, nursing home, hospital, wherever the call was at, and I would represent that funeral home and bring their loved one back to that funeral home. So that was my college job. So in 2008, when I couldn't pay my bills, I called my former boss back and I just said, hey, do you have work for me to even come back and pay my bills? And he said, yeah, Jordan, we're super busy. Just come back out. Well, that was kind of the first piece. The second piece, I had to find a place to stay.
Yeah.
So I called a buddy of mine and I just said, hey, can I come and just crash at your apartment? And he said, well, you can, but you got to be out in 4 months. I'm getting married. And I said, I think I can do that. And little did I know, that was like the first puzzle piece that was being put in place. I remember packing up my little Honda Civic and drove from Northwest Indiana back out to Cincinnati. And I remember that first night sleeping on my buddy's couch thinking like, God, what in the world am I doing?
Yeah.
A couple days later, Travis had his future wife and her best friend come over to the house. And little did I know that girl that showed up at that apartment would be my future wife.
Wow.
So that was the second puzzle piece that went into place. And a few months later, I was on a call at a home, and I brought this person back to this funeral home I was representing, and the owner met me at the door. He said, Jordan, I want to talk to you. Come into my office. And so I sat down, and he said, you ever thought about doing this for a living? Anytime we get a family that you represent us, they have a lot of good things to say about you. You ever thought about doing this? And I said, no, this is just temporary. It's just going to get me from point A to point B to get home. And he said, what if I pay your schooling? So that was the third puzzle piece that kind of fell into place. So I felt like it was a no-brainer for me to go to mortuary school. So I went through mortuary school, worked for him, and he ended up selling his funeral home to a big corporation. A lot of these smaller funeral homes are being sold out to big corporations. And so he called me into his office and said, Jordan, you've done a great job for me, but this is what I've done. I've sold my funeral home. Thank you for your help. Your obligation to me is done. A few months later, I get a phone call from John and Martha Maier in Evansville, Indiana, asking me to come out and interview. My question to him was like, where in the world is that?
Yeah.
I asked everybody around, I'm like, what's in Evansville? And they're like, cornfields. And I remember my wife was 8 months pregnant, and we just decided we didn't have a lot of money. We were broke, and I was like, honey, let's just make a trip to Evansville. What's the worst thing we could do? Is like not take the job.
Yeah.
We're driving through like downtown Louisville. She looks at me, she's like, what are you doing? We're not taking this job. You're just wasting their time.
Yeah.
So I go through the interview process with them, and I told Johnny, I was like, man, I need to have this baby in Evansville, not in Evansville, but Cincinnati. And so I said, call me in 4 months. If it's meant to be, the job will still be open. 4 months later, he calls me back. And so the second time I came out by myself, sat down with John and Martha, and he offered, there's a little yellow house right across the street from the funeral home. He offered that for me to live there rent-free, just to get my feet underneath me. And he paid me a salary enough for my wife to stay at home. She always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. So I remember praying about it on my way home, and I remember walking in and I was telling her, I'm like, hey, honey, I need to take this job. Well, kind of give you a timeline. It's actually Lillian's birthday today. So my firstborn was born today. And so we had a newborn in June. July was our 1 year anniversary. So we got pregnant pretty quick after we got married. And then in August, we were in Evansville, Indiana. If you talk to my wife and I now, it was one of the best decisions we've ever made.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't foresee that this community would just open their arms to us.
Yeah.
We absolutely love living here. We've made great friendships. We have a great church to go to. God's been really good, man. It's been quite a journey. Looking back on it, I would have never, ever picked this industry for myself, but it fits me perfectly.
Yeah, because you got to be pretty personable in that line of work.
Oh, man. But again, it's just a ministry in itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a lifestyle, but I love every minute of it.
So how many funerals do you think you average a week?
You know, the funeral industry is interesting. We serve about 300 some families a year. We do other odds and ends for other funeral homes that are out of town, so we do a lot of work for them too. So our work weeks stay pretty busy.
Yeah. And you do a lot because, what was it? There's a massive storm somewhere south. And last year you guys went and helped out somehow, correct?
Yeah. We just called that funeral home up and just said, hey, how can we help?
And where was that at?
That was down towards
Asheville?
Down Barkley Lake area.
Okay.
And I didn't even think about them not having power down there. So we ended up going down and bringing their loved ones back and allowing families to even have a viewing during that time. The funeral home there was pretty devastated by the storm that came through. So, we're all in this together. Mm-hmm. There was a landslide. I think maybe you're referencing the mudslide that was in Tennessee.
That's what it was, yeah.
All the area funeral homes here, I ended up calling all the funeral homes here, and we all came together, and they were requesting body bags. I mean, just blew my mind that they were short on anything that they could need. They were asking for body bags. So we loaded up a van. The van was so heavy that the wheels, you could see how low on the wheels it was. So I was like, Lord, just protect this van. But we ended up collecting body bags, easy movers, things that the Red Cross wasn't able to get in there. Mm-hmm. So, stuff like that. But, there's not really party lines here. The funeral homes came together in a time of need. Yeah.
Your hours are wild because I know we've played golf several times and you'll get a call. Mm-hmm. Guys, I got to go into the locker room, put my suit on, got to head out. Yeah,
it's a lifestyle. But again, people ask me all the time, like, what is your hours? But I'm on call 7 days a week. Mm-hmm. But fortunately, I've been able to build a team that allows me to still be fluid and be different places at different times.
And that's what I wanted to ask next. So since you took over 3 years ago, how have you built it? And
yeah, I had, at one point, I think, I got put in the hospital about 6 years ago. I was trying to do everything myself, and my body just gave out. Yeah. And my staff will tell you I like my hands in on everything. Mm-hmm. But after that, I found out that I can't do everything. I can't be everywhere. And it started off as a virus. It actually went to my brain and put me in the hospital. The crazy thing about that is the word meningitis was being floated around. They didn't know if it was bacterial or viral at that time. And I had more ministers scrubbing up and visiting me. And I'm like, are you guys crazy? Like, this thing's contagious. Like, why are you guys? But it showed me the relationships and that these pastors were willing to come in and pray over me and care for my family during that time. But when I got out of the hospital, I just told John and Martha at that time, I said, I have to build a team. And so we started intentionally trying to bring in pieces. And man, I don't think I've ever had a more talented team to go shoulder to shoulder with every day of the week. I absolutely love it.
What team did you inherit when you started it? Just a few of you?
Yeah, it was. At that time, I was the only funeral director on staff. And so we were serving about 200 some families. And it was just a unique time. I mean, employees come and go, but I knew I had to change the culture and create longevity.
Yeah.
And so I intentionally started bringing in funeral directors, you know, paying our employees more, trying to create a schedule where they're not on 24/7. And piece by piece, we've been able to bring people in.
Yeah.
I now have 4 funeral directors.
Oh, wow.
3 students. We also like to build our students up through a program.
Yeah.
So I have about 10 full-time employees, a bunch of part-time employees. And so, like I said, I feel very comfortable with my staff that I have here.
Yeah. And you guys provide quite a few services because you're doing like classes and, well, not classes, but you got people coming in, learning more about how to prepare.
Yeah. So we do a lot of lunch and learns, being proactive before a time of need comes in. I used to do all the pre-planning, which I absolutely love because you get to sit down and talk with somebody one-on-one.
Yeah.
You really can talk dollars and cents. The grief portion isn't in it. A lot of times people tend to try to overspend when a death occurs. This allows me just to kind of slow down. We can come up with a plan, find out what they can afford, not afford, talk about their options. They can go home and sit around the table and talk about it and come back, and we can just take a slower pace of finding what they want to do with their celebration of life or funeral.
Yeah, because trying to figure all that out the next day after a death, not even looking at numbers.
Yeah, we're pretty much looking at 48 hours to have something to happen, and there's 152 things that go into just making funeral arrangements. So just being peppered with question after question after question.
Yeah.
Again, it's our job to try to smooth that process out, but we do a lot of lunch and learns to try to get the conversation started ahead of time.
Should probably do that soon. Yeah, because I mean, you got flowers, you got food, you got plots. A lot of phone calls have to be made.
A lot of phone calls have to be made.
A lot. I don't think I could do that. You got that personality though. That's the hardest part. It's trying to figure out how to console them. But
Sure.
And all the funeral people I know are hilarious. I'm just like, I guess you have to have a sense of humor to be in that business.
Yeah, it is a heavy line of work. But again, the team that I have, I would go shoulder to shoulder with them. This last year has probably been one of our toughest years with circumstances. But again, they want to be there alongside me and working with me with these families. And so, like I said before, I've been extremely blessed with the team I have with me.
Well, 3 years looks like you're making a lot of good progress and headway.
Yeah.
Is Samantha involved in this at all?
She's not. Well, and the thing is too, with how busy I am and how many places I need to be. I mean, I'm just not in the funeral home. I do a lot of singing in the community too. Yeah. So I don't worry about I don't worry about the home life. I have 3 beautiful girls. My wife and I are celebrating 15 years next month. To know that I don't have to worry about what's happening at home. Yeah. It puts my mind at peace.
For sure.
So knowing that when I leave a restaurant or wherever I'm at, that girl is so gifted as a mom. Like she doesn't stress at all. She'll take all 3 to Holiday World and not even blink twice about it. Oh. And I see not knock against anybody else, but she does not get rattled as a mom.
Good for her.
She'll just scoop all 3 up. Now they're all kind of big, but off they go.
Yeah. And it's summer, so just hang out in the back of the pool.
Absolutely.
Good deal. Well, the next question I have, so are there any notable mistakes or life lessons you've learned in your time in the business?
Yeah, just building a team. That's probably the biggest thing. I've kind of touched on that. Building a team, having continuity in the business. I really kind of live by 3 C's. Since I've taken it over, I really wanted to have a good culture at the funeral home.
That's very key.
I tell my staff all the time, like, if we're not healthy as a staff, we can't be healthy to serve our families.
Yeah.
And, different times in any type of business, you have kind of a roller coaster of how well your staff is, but we've really tried to focus in on that. I've really tried to be big on community too. I'm not the only one that's getting ingrained in the community and doing community events.
Yeah.
My staff is good at cooking. Gosh, they can bring in some good food. So they find different events to cook for. They've done a lot of nonprofits on their own. Before, it was just me being the one that was getting involved at these nonprofits. But they're wanting to get more and more ingrained in the community. And then continuity, thinking long-term. Again, I'm only as successful as my staff is. If they're not willing to be with me, be there long-term, their relationships are part of the funeral home too. It's not just people coming into the funeral home just because Jordan's there.
Correct.
It's, they're kind of fingerlings, and their relationships that they're forging is also why they're coming into the funeral home.
Yeah, and having a good team, I would imagine, is important, because if you come in every day and don't like your job, then that's going to reflect on the families that come in and trickle down.
And even with them having a good staff like that, it still allows me to be a dad. Because my biggest fear throughout my career is to have a successful career but not have anything at home. To lose my family in the process. How many times have you seen a successful business person not have a strong home life? Like next week, I'm going to be hopping on hopping on a plane, but in a car driving to Pensacola to watch my girls dance at Nationals.
There you go.
A few years ago, I wouldn't have felt comfortable to do that. But my staff tells me to go be with your family, and I have the same philosophy with them.
Yeah, make sure they take care of their family too. Well, with a good team, I mean, obviously you're growing. So you said 200 families is what you were probably serving when you started. Now you're up to 300.
When I first came to town, we were serving about 120 families.
Oh, wow.
When I first came into Evansville, I've been now going on my 15th year here in Evansville. So Boone has grown quite a bit.
What's the difference?
I just think the care of families, being attentive. I think service, you get one opportunity to serve a family.
Yeah.
I used to say strive for perfection, but this little lady, she corrected me. She said, Jordan, you can't do that. You need to change your verbiage, strive for excellence. And I was like, there's truth to that. She said, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
But if you try for excellence, that's attainable. Yeah. And so I try to take that philosophy with every family that we serve, because we get one opportunity. There's no redos in our line of work. And
so is a lot of your business from referrals, I would imagine?
Yeah, the more families we serve in, it's amazing too. Like if a family, they're walking in our doors and saying, hey, we hear that you guys do it really well here. Our families used to use this funeral home, but we want to try you all because so-and-so was there.
That's good.
And the care that you guys had for them, they really raved about it. We want to give you an opportunity to serve our family. So, I mean, it's our job to gain their trust. Yeah. And then if you do it well, you become part of their family. For sure. And so I run into people all the time, and I mean, it's almost like the minister that married you all.
Did all 3 kids.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you guys go back to him, and you guys, he holds a special place in your heart. Well, I'm coming into people's lives at their most vulnerable time. And I hope and pray that I do a good enough job that they feel like I brought comfort in some capacity. Yeah.
So with having 300 families now regularly each year that you serve, what is the capacity you think that you could be at to where you'd have to expand?
Well, I actually currently, talking about expansion, I bought property in Boonville. We just cleared the property about a month ago. And so my second location will be downtown on the main strip next to RJ's and the VFW. The VFW called me, and they had 3 acres there, and they heard that I was wanting to expand in that area. So I presented to their board and kind of told them my vision, and they pretty much gave me 3 acres to build a funeral home out there.
That's great.
And so I don't forget the people that helped me along the way. There's some things that I would like to do in naming that building or putting a cornerstone or something as a thank you.
Yeah. That was a commercial real estate plug. I won't touch on insurance. I'll let Brad keep that for you. Our next question, just general advice you have. I mean, you've run a business and for 3 years, and you've been in this business for a long time. What advice do you have for anybody wanting to go into this business, or just general life advice? Yeah,
I look back at my career and I wanted to own a funeral home at the age of 30, and I was kind of hard on myself of not attaining that goal. I was 38 when I finally bought Boone, and looking back on it, I'm glad that I had more time to get experience. Sometimes, I've always been very aggressive in my career and wanting to attain such and such goal, and I'm very goal oriented, but looking back, the time of instilling myself in the community, gaining the experience, when it was finally my time to own the business, I felt ready.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, I wouldn't have been ready back then. And so I say, don't rush into things. Make sure you have a strong foundation.
Yeah.
And I think I've already touched on this a couple of times. You're only as good as the people that are with you on that journey with you.
Yeah, team's very important. I mean, being in real estate and insurance, it's a lot. Trying to build that perfect team to work with every day, so you don't dislike coming to work, and then once you work together and accomplish a lot. One last question I want to have. We've missed this the last few times. I got to hear a funny story. Because Daryl at the Hills, I mean, he probably had tons of stories.
I mean, I got to be careful with this one because, I mean, there's so many families that we serve within, but this is a reflection on myself. So we a lot of times we have funerals here, but people are buried in different states. And so like last week we were in Olney, Illinois, and we're actually supposed to go to Council Bluff, Iowa. Sunday, somebody's doing a burial. All the services are happening here, but they weren't making this trip elsewhere for the burial. Well, in this particular case, I was going to Wayne City, Illinois. You look it up, there's not a physical address. There was GPS coordinates. And so we had the funeral here. We all hop in the car. There's about 10 cars following me. And I thought I hit the coordinate button to get me to the cemetery. Well, all of a sudden, it says I arrived. It's a gravel road, have 10 cars behind me. And I am literally, there's cornfields on both sides of me. Families call me like, where in the world are you at? And I'm like, I don't know. So I'm like frantically sweating, panicking, because I'm like, this is not the cemetery. I'm in the middle of cornfield. Find out about 10 minutes away. So we finally get to the cemetery. There was some of the family that just left the procession, ended up getting to the cemetery. And so I pull in and I'm like, well, Kay just wanted to see where she grew up in Wayne City. The unfortunate thing for me, this was my brother-in-law's grandma. And so they just brought this up at a family function. So they talk about the time I got lost with their grandma in Wayne City. But man, I mean, you just have to roll with it. I mean, things are going to happen. The family said that she absolutely loved Wayne City, and they could see her, Kay, making sure I got lost so she could make one final circle. Man, I saw all of Wayne City that day. But it's going to happen, man.
Oh, yeah. Always have a mistake here and there. My biggest fear is being in charge of the music and somebody's phone just connects.
Yeah, that stuff happens all the time.
Dirty rap song playing or...
Oh, yeah. I won't go into a story like that, but I was meeting a family in somebody's playlist. It was X-rated music going through the whole speakers. It took forever to get that sucker off the main speakers. I'm calling downstairs, like, turn it off. It turned up louder, and oh man, the family thankfully I was meeting a family that thought it was hilarious.
Oh, good.
But that X-rated playlist, I don't think they saw a brown man blush before, but I was blushing, I was sweating. Oh man.
And one last thing, I touch on your singing. So you sing at church. You sing at a lot of events. Yeah, that is something that still baffles me. If you told me I would be singing as much as I am here. In second grade, my parents bought me a little guitar, and my guitar teacher used to sing at the Grand Ole Opry, and had a Nashville career, so she taught me how to play and sing.
And then I had a choir teacher who really pushed me to find the love of music.
Mm-hmm.
And little did I know that she was from Evansville, Indiana. She was teaching me up in Northwest Indiana. Her parents are buried here in Park Lawn Cemetery here in Evansville. And I saw her about 3 years ago at my cousin's wedding, and I'll cherish this moment because I didn't know she would be taken home shortly after that. I was able to tell her how she was able to instill the love of music in here, and then now I have the opportunity to sing here in Evansville. But a family here in Evansville, their singer canceled, and I just happened to say, like, hey, I sing a little bit. Like,
just a little bit.
Yeah, do you care if I just step in? And I sang a song for their funeral. And from that point on, the pastor who officiated the funeral asked me to sing in his church on Sunday. And it's kind of hopped from that into me being able to sing at different funerals, different churches on Sunday. I lead worship out of Christian Fellowship Church, sing at different fundraisers and sing things of that nature. But I find it a huge honor. I keep touching this thing. I'm sorry. I find it a huge honor to just even be a part of funerals, or just to be asked to sing at different events.
Yeah, because I'll pull into a golf scramble and I'll see your car. I'm like, is he golfing? Is he singing? Is he doing both?
A lot of times I'm doing both. But man, it's been a wild ride.
Good. Yeah, so stop by CFC sometime. You'll see JD singing about JC. I always say that. Good one. Jordan, thanks for coming on today and talking about Boone and their past since the 1800s and how you got to here today.
Yeah.
So we'll do it again.
Honored to do it. Hey, thanks, Dylan.
Thanks for coming on.
I appreciate it.
And we'll see you next week with a featured guest, which I will finalize tomorrow. So enjoy and subscribe on YouTube and Facebook.
From the river towns to the open road, Southern Indiana stories unfold. Local leaders sharing how they grow.